Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning into the Mixed Section Report. Feels good to be back posting videos after a busy past few days. But yeah, every time I wanted to get in the office and record, I was always too tired because I'm busy, like I said, working. Had a lot of things going on with the job, but hey, I'm back. All right, so let's jump into this. Why would anybody vote Democrat? We have the midterms coming up. This is very important here. If you're on the fence of which way to go, I just want you to take a look at the past, since January of 2021 to now. Look at the state of the country. Check this out from Breitbart. Record 2.2 million migrants apprehended along the southwest border during the last year. U.S. border agents apprehended a record-setting 2.2 million migrants during the recently closed fiscal year 2022. This represents a massive 33% increase over the previous record set just last year by the Biden administration. By contrast, during fiscal year 2020, President Trump's last year in office, Border Patrol agents apprehended only 400,000 illegal aliens. And some people will say, well, because of COVID. Well, he also did things to stop people from coming over here. Title 42, which sent people back the other way because of the virus, trying to protect American citizens from catching the virus. That's the whole point of Title 42. Trying to protect American citizens from potential dangers of the outside world, people outside of the country. There's a pandemic going on. You can't just walk across the border and infect the American people, possibly. That's the whole point of doing that. Remain in Mexico was still in place. He was still having the wall built, 450 miles of border wall built during his time in office, and that was still going on while in 2020. I mean, I don't think some people understand the severity of having a weak or open border. Look, I understand, and this has been said multiple times, and I've said this multiple times. Not everybody coming across the border is bad. There's a good chance the majority of the people are good people. But you can't just have people coming in unchecked because you don't know who's coming in the country. These are things you can look up for yourself. There have been terror suspects apprehended at the border. How many of those people actually got through? You see what I'm saying? And that could cause potential harm to American citizens. Another thing is you have people that come across the border and drunk drive and kill people. One of the stupidest things I've ever heard in my entire life. I was talking to somebody about this. There's a debate we're having about having an open border. Of course, I'm for strong border security. I was having a debate with a young guy. He was probably 18 or 19 at the time. This was 4 or 5 years, probably 4 years ago. And I mentioned a young woman who was killed by a drunk driver who was an illegal alien. Then he said, well, she would have died another way anyway if that didn't happen. I said, what? That doesn't even make sense. So he's saying, okay, we'll just leave the borders open, let people walk across the border because that was meant to happen. She would if that didn't happen, she would have been killed by somebody else or something else. How stupid does that sound? And arguments like that are extremely poor. Tell that to the family who's dealing with that. The point is to yes, we have drunk drivers here who are American citizens, but the point is to lessen these things, to keep these things at a minimum. You don't want to keep adding to it. We already have enough problems in this country with people that are our citizens. Why add more problems? That's the point. Illegal aliens come in here and they rape people. They rape women. Yes, American citizens do that too, but so do illegal immigrants. They rape, sex trafficking, tons of drugs coming across the border. These are all things you can Check this out. Texas has seized over 336 million lethal doses of fentanyl during Operation Lone Star. Operation Lone Star was uh, put in place by my governor, Greg Abbott, to combat these drugs and these illegal aliens coming across the border because Joe Biden won't do his job. So when he says Joe Biden's not doing his job and he's having you can look at his Twitter page, he's stepping in where Joe Biden is not. That's a fact. Operation Lone Star is not perfect. Yes, it's been pretty controversial, but it's necessary. It's not perfect. It's not completely stopping people coming across the border, but hey, he's sending DPS agents down there apprehending people, seizing drugs, putting people in jail. There are things that are being done about this. And this is a serious problem. Fentanyl has killed thousands and thousands of people across the country, especially people from ages 18 to 45. These are things you can look up on your own. I'm talking to people that are on the fence or just are going to sit at home and not vote, who don't realize how important this election is. Your country is on the line. And the border is my number one issue because Democrats are trying to destroy the country. They want a new voting bloc. They want to uh, give amnesty to everybody, and they want to turn those into Democrat votes because they know if they can uh, grant mass amnesty to everybody, there's a good chance that a lot of people that came across the border will vote Democrat because they say, "Oh, well, look what they did for us." They love pandering to people. That's the thing. Look, the the price of gas. The price of gas has gone up dramatically since Biden has been in office, and he is trying to. He's this strategic petroleum reserve thing he's doing is idiotic. We were energy independent under Donald Trump, a net exporter. We were pumping 13 million barrels a day. That's gone down over to around 11.8 million. These are things you can look up. I'm not making this stuff up off the top of my head. These are facts. He attacked the oil industry because he said multiple times on the campaign trail he would love to get rid of the fossil fuel industry and go green. I don't think people realize how many minerals. I mean, not minerals, but how much? Yeah, how much digging up and how many minerals it takes to make a battery for electric vehicles. To make an electric vehicle, you get a lot of digging up the earth and things like that. And Democrats are supposedly about the earth and the climate and this and that. But you're destroying the planet with all this digging for electric vehicles. Doesn't make any sense. And this strategic oil reserve is for emergencies. It's a safety net, not because you want to lower the price of gas by 10 cents. I'm telling you, Biden is by far the worst president in American history. We have all this oil right below us, but they want to see you suffer. They have all this oil that we were pumping under Trump. We were getting oil pumped out like there's no tomorrow. Oil, these permits were being given out. We were drilling oil. We were energy independent, like I said. Gas was low. We didn't have to rely on other countries. But Biden has shut that down. And now he's going to Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, when he has the oil right below his feet. Even though I don't believe the 2020 election was free and fair for various reasons, and I've talked about this in the past. Even though I think you're not a legitimate president, you are still expected to do your job, not destroy the country. I still want you to do your job, whether I think you're legitimate or not. We can have that debate another day about the legitimacy of the 2020 election. And I have various things to go off of, things that I have researched for the past 2 years, which makes me believe that he is not a legitimate president. But we'll get into that another day. Um, his war on the fossil fuel industry is taking a mighty toll on the economy. I mean, this is from Larry Kudlow. We can go down here. Um, get ready for the big chill. This is from Wall Street Journal. The average U.S. household spending will increase for all heating fuel this winter, including natural gas 28%, heating oil 27%, electricity 10%, propane up to 5%. I mean, he is attacking the energy industry because he wants to do this green nonsense that we're not even ready for. I mean, I can't wrap my head around things that this guy is doing to this country. It's doing to your wallet. I mean, look, gas prices were $2.38 on January 19th, 2021, the day before Biden's inauguration, and today, let's make sure this is correct. 3.79. I mean, you can't complain about gas prices and then sit at home and not vote. I'm talking to anybody out there who's sitting at home, who's on the fence of which way to go, or just doesn't think their vote matters, or think it's not important enough. I can't wrap my head around things like that. I'm telling you, your country is on the line here. The average American household losing $34,000 on Biden's watch. I mean, this is your 401k. 401ks have dropped about $34,000. The average 401k in the U.S. $135,000. Now it's down to about $101,000. Americans have also lost $6,000 a year because of inflation. Just on under Trump we had $6,000 in purchasing power. Under Trump we saw a $6,000 increase from the tax cuts and the deregulation and the booming economy that we had. The average American income was up about $6,000, $7,000 under Trump. And now, because of inflation, you're able to buy $6,000. I mean, your purchasing power has gone down to $6,000. I'm sorry. Your wallet, your livelihood, your wallet is being destroyed. Why are you voting Democrats, or why are you not voting? We can talk about how we got there all day long, or we can talk about that another day. But just take a look at where your life is right now compared to where it was before this lunatic got in office. This scumbag, lying lunatic. For one, he's senile. He doesn't know what the heck is going on. He's also he hates America because he have a senile old man who hates America in the White House. I mean, you have a double negative right there. You have two negative things going against us. He's a scumbag. Actually three. He's corrupt. He hates America, and he's a senile old man. You have three things in his one man, and he's sitting in the White House. He's weak. That's another one. He's weak. That's another one. He's very weak. He's ineffective. He's a feckless, ineffective leader. The stock market has been up and down. My retirement is it's up, it's down, it's up and down. It's you go to the grocery store on a weekly basis. Probably I go to the grocery store, and I'm spending $60, $70, $80 on things that should have been, you know, I should have probably spent a third less than that. In normal times, probably been a third less. I'm just guessing because it seems like I'm always spending $70, $75 when I go to the grocery store on Sundays. It's like, man, what? This is expensive stuff. I'm looking at this stuff. It adds up. I get it. Things add up when you get things you need, but then, probably, a year ago, a couple of years ago, I mean, that $8 worth of groceries, $75 worth of groceries probably cost, 55 or 60. It's cutting into your way of life. Look, my wife and I don't have kids. We are not having children. And that is I'm not going Stacey Abrams on you. I'm not going that route and saying, "Oh well, abortion, that's the way to combat inflation or whatever." No, we just chose not to have kids. We I've never paid for an abortion, never done anything like that. I'm not advocating for abortion at all to combat inflation. My wife and I made a conscious decision to not have children, a very thought out decision to not have kids, and it's impacting us less than I'd say somebody who has two, three, or four kids, a mortgage, drives 45 minutes to work. Speaking of mortgages, they're up. Mortgage rates soar as home sales fall to a 10-year low. The mortgage rate is now just over 7% after starting this year around 3%. It's getting more expensive to live, to buy a home. That's why sales are dropping to a 10-year low. I mean, this thing, why would you vote Democrat? I just want to ask you that question. Why are you still voting for these people? Because you're loyal to the party? Because they have a D in front of their name? You voted for that way your whole life? You have no idea that you're destroying your life, you're destroying the country, you're destroying your kids' future. You're voting for your own demise by voting for these people. Well, who was it? Charles Barkley that said black people have been voting Democrat for 50 years and are still poor. Why do all these poor black neighborhoods continue to vote Democrat? Nothing's changed. You're still poor. Who was it? Trump that said, "What the hell do you have to lose? What do you have to lose by voting for the other side?" It has a plan. They're better on economics, the better plan for economics, the tougher on crime. The Republicans have a better plan to fight crime than Democrats do. And you can look at my previous videos with Kevin McCarthy's, his plan, his commitment to America, or whatever it was called, and I talk about this. We have a plan to fix the border. You just take a look at what Trump did in his 4 years in office. Take a look at I live in Texas. You look at Texas, look at Florida, and you take a look at California and New York or Illinois. Those three places are run by Democrats. Why are people leaving those states to come to red states? We have low taxes, low regulation. I mean, it's not perfect, but we're thriving over here in Texas compared to other places. Yeah, we're still having inflation here. It's not everybody's feeling it, but we're in a better position in Texas to get through the tough times because of our strong economy that our governor has delivered with the low regulation, the low taxes, and things like that. Bringing businesses over here, attracting workers. And it's what's the saying? A rising tide lifts all boats, or something. When you have a strong economy, everybody, it benefits everybody from the top to the bottom because you're creating opportunity for those people across the board. You have somebody who comes in with a great business idea or has a large company that comes in and hires a bunch of people and expands. That's more jobs right there. They can pay people more if you're making a lot of money. If the company is very profitable, you can pay people more. You can attract more workers. It gives everybody opportunity. That's why I vote Republican. One of the reasons why. That's why I love living in a red state, a prosperous red state like Texas. I just wanted to talk about the crime situation. New York, the crime situation in New York New York City is out of control. Chicago, Philadelphia, and these places are backed by Soros district attorneys. If you don't know who George Soros is, take a look at his district attorneys that he's funded around the country, and look at the murder rates there. And these places are run by Democrats. So why are you voting for these people? Look, I just wanted to make a quick video about this. I'm just extremely frustrated because The Democrats should not have more than 2% of the vote. It just blows me away that we have the information out there. You can see it. You can look these things up on your own. Do your own research, and you could see the destruction that these people are causing for this country. I don't care if you've been voting Democrat for 60 years, voting for 10 years. Stop voting Democrat. You've got to turn this thing around and put some sane America First Republicans in office. And it starts with the midterms. Whatever state you live in and your early voting starts, get out there and vote. Even if you think it's going to be a landslide, get out there and vote. If you, I don't know, if your governor, your congressman, congresswoman, your senator, you think they're going to win a landslide, get out there and vote and run up the score. Who knows? You could be in a swing district. If you're in a safe red district, fine. My congresswoman, Beth Van Dyne, she has a 99% chance of winning according to a couple of metrics I've seen. I'm still going to vote like we're down by 5 points because you never know what's going to happen. I'm getting out and I'm voting early. I'm marching to the polls, and I'm voting because I want to save this country. I want to keep my state a prosperous state to live in. So please get out there and vote. Early voting, election day, whatever you're going to do, get out there and vote. Encourage others to vote. This election is very important. And just think about the things I talked about. And do the right thing for your country. Save this country. If you've never voted before, if you don't think it matters, it does matter. Trust me, it matters a lot. And where I live, we had a case, a situation where, not a case, we had it had to do with CRT and things like that. And the school board voted 4-3 to not teach that in school anymore, to get rid of it. I voted in that election, in that school board election, and I helped put those candidates in office, on the school board. And yes, it was 4-3, but it went in our favor. Yeah, we won by a lot. The candidates that I voted for won by a lot, a couple thousand votes. But that makes a difference. Every single vote counts. If you don't think it does, like Dan Bongino says, what option do you have? You think there's cheating in elections? Yes, there is cheating in elections. Of course there is. But what option do you have? You can't sit at home. You have to flood the polls with Republican votes and get these people out of office and turn this thing around, because the Democrats of today are out to destroy the country. Look at AOC, Ilhan Omar, the whole squad. Look at them. Joe Biden. I mean, these people are sick. All right, guys, get out there and vote. It's late, but I want to talk about that because I want to save this country. It's very important to get out there, early vote, volunteer, get out the vote, text, whatever you're going to do, block, walk. Get out there and save this country. All right, thank you. Have a good night. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you. Take care.